There's one day in my office where I told my colleague that your guy may be earning enough money, thinking that you have money, but your subordinates can be richer than your guy. He says a lie. That you cannot earn lesser than your boss. Let's assume your boss is earning 1 million and you're earning 100,000. He's telling me that it's not possible for the boy earning 100,000 to be richer than your guy if both of them have the same responsibilities. Now, I want to make something clear here. That is where wisdom comes in play. If you are employed in a company and the company look at your credentials, or organization look at your credentials and say what you are qualified for with what they are seeing, the value they can buy you to work for them is 200,000. And another man comes and they look at that man's credentials and all the documents is on it and say your value is 1 million naira. Now, do you see two of them have different values? This one is a value of 200,000, and this one is a value of 1 million. Now, let's assume both of them have the same responsibilities. Everything being equal. That means if 100,000 naira is okay for this Mr. A that is earning 200,000 to solve his problem, and 100,000 is okay for Mr. B that anyone wants to solve the problem. Now Mr. A have 100,000 naira left as savings, and Mr. B didn't have 900,000 to save as savings. Now you have seen that two of them on normal ground have the same responsibility, but savings is 900,000. Now what will make each and every one of them know to live in minus is the value you place on yourself. The company, the organization will choose their value as you being the value 200,000, this one being valued 1 million. Now, if your boss that is being paid 1 million check himself and say my value is above 1 million naira, that my value is actually 1.9 million, he will spend that 900,000 naira he had and still borrow more money to maintain his standard because he thinks that his own value is 900,000. Now the one that is earning 100,000, 200,000, now think that his value for now is 70,000. He will live in surplus without being in minus. That is the logic. That's the reason what brought into all this argument was you see some people taking borrowing loan, sometimes they just need, they will tell you they don't have any money for now. They are even requesting loan. If you do not manage how you live your life and how you make your expenses, you will go down to the level of borrowing money from somebody and earn more than. Because of what? You did not systematize your life. Systematizing your life has nothing to do with how much you are earning, but it has something to do with the value you maintain for that moment. You can have your own expectation or your own futuristic of what you want to do in future, or what you want to place your value to be. It's normal. But for that moment, what is your value? Place priority for what priority demands for. You can see somebody that is earning 40,000 naira and is wearing coat of 100,000. The person didn't steal though. There are some people that paid for things that doesn't matter instrumentally. There is a difference between this and what. There's a point in your life where you focus on your needs, not on one. You can still be in the same way you think you are and be hustling and praying for a better place. The problem of most society and most people you see involved in illegal activities is they believe in other people's judgment on them. If you go through some people email, you'll find out that they already have more than 100 rejections of email. But that does not mean the first rejection, second rejection, the person continue applying. Third rejection, you continue applying. They continue rejecting the person, you continue applying. He didn't depend on that last person, the first person judgment that he rejected him. He didn't even bother to know why did he reject him. But he believed in himself that yes, I know my value and I know my worth. That is the value and worth you should know about yourself. But it varies temporarily, not permanent. If a company gives you a value and says this is the value you're worth to us, don't allow your own value for that moment to be bigger than the company. If not, you will live on debt. Some people have some emergency that normally occur to them. It's normal to every human being. But there's what I normally tell people. Any money that comes across your way has the reason why the money comes across your way. But if you didn't apply wisdom and use that money that comes across your way for a wrong reason, you will end up in poverty. When the problem of that money arrives, you will find a place to borrow that money, which will make you to living in debt. Some people will ask, how will I know the purpose why the money comes to me? Last, I will explain that later. Everything that comes across your way has the reason and the purpose why you come across your way. But your problem is, what value did you place in yourself? What value is temporarily occupying the place you are? The same money you complain that is not enough for you to feed yourself is the same money Mr. B using to feed himself, and you think he's stealing. He's not stealing anything. But you place your value to the company was 200,000, and your own value you place yourself for that moment was 500,000. Now you are living in debt of 300,000, which you must meet it up. Some people go as far as this goes down to most civil servants. Some people go as far as living in a place whereby 6 months of their salary is for the house rent. Which not normal, you are working for the landlord. That is what it means. You bath every day. You wake up in the morning, you bath, and you work for the landlord. That is what it means. Now, if you work 22 days in a month, and your salary is 220,000, and somebody called you and they transfer 20,000 to that person, what it actually means is that you pass complete 2 good days, rest 2 good days, go to the office for 2 good days and work for that person. That is what it means. Now automatically you are in minus 2, which is minus 20,000. I'm not saying you should not help people. I didn't say you should not help, but I want to understand you to understand the value you need to place on things. Because if you have wrong calculation of values, you will live in crime. If you don't know your worth and what you pay attention to, you will live in crime. Priority, desire, placing your value above what your currency is what leads to crime. If you're working in office, example of financial institution, and you make mismanagement of your money and you deal with cash, you will steal. There is no two ways about it. If you work in a financial institution and your value is 20,000 and you place your value to 300,000 and making you running in debt of 300,000, you will steal. But the best approach to life, if the company places your value as 200,000 or 100,000 or 150,000, do the percentage and place your value to the percentage of 70 so that you run in positive of 30% and you will never live in debt. I don't want to use myself as an example here, but some of my peers will look at me and think that it's always some other things that are giving you money, you are doing this and doing that, you are not telling us. But that is not the truth. The truth is, if you systematize your life and pay attention to what worth paying attention for, you will never run in debt. I know some people will say, when the problem that is bigger than you hits you, you will understand. Problem that is bigger than people can hit people. That is why we always pray every day for what is bigger than us not to hit us. That is everybody's earnest prayer. Does not mean that problem will not come. No. Anybody that told you that if you pray there is no problem, he's telling you lies. Every man meets challenge and meets problem every day in his life. But how you handle those challenges is what matters a lot. Not the challenge itself. Know your value and know your worth. When you're running applications or some other things you want to do in life, and you're experiencing rejections, don't you ever believe in people's reputation about you. Believe in who you define yourself to be. If you're intelligent and you went for an interview and you didn't pass, and they felt that you didn't pass and they rejected you, never you go home with that acceptance that you failed. Because when you go home with that mentality that you failed, it will make you not to try again. But when we go with that mentality that you are very, very intelligent and you know that you want that job, next thing you need to do is to work on yourself and know how to improve more. But never you go home with that rejection mentality that you didn't want it. There's many things people need to learn. And some rejections is calling for you for establishing yourself. You mustn't work for everybody. You mustn't work for people for you to be great. Sometimes you need to calm down and think. Recognize your value and your own worth. And try to maintain that worth. You will see something different working in your life. You can be a boss in office and your subordinate is richer than you, but you know that. Because boss is just building on someone's success. Yes. But when you're empty, you're empty. If your boss thinking that his own value is up to 2 million and he's being paid 1 million, he's always running on debt of 1 million naira every month. And the person is 750,000, 100,000 every month, you richer than him. But he's always rich instantaneously. Instantly, meaning at the payday, he's richer. But after the payday, he's poorer. That is building. Process. Don't jump process. There is a bitter complaint of people. Company look at Mr. A and place the value of Mr. A of 300,000, look Mr. B and place Mr. B of value of 500,000. You start asking yourself questions. What mess do you think that this person doesn't? No, that's nothing necessary because you have the right to bow. You have the right to leave the firm if you want. You accepted it, meaning that your value is it. If your value wasn't that thing they paid you, you would have resigned. You would have rejected it at the first instance when the offer letter was given to you. But you accepted the offer letter and acknowledged it, meaning that your value is that particular amount. You don't need to complain. What you need is to work on yourself and build your own company. Work on yourself and build your own dream. Work on yourself and build your own job. Work on yourself and get your dream job. Everything is not all about complaining. Everything is not all about prayer. Everything you play is consistency, self-development. There are so many things I need to pour out here. But if I pour out many things here, it may look as if I don't have anything to go home. Know your value and know your worth. Know what you represent. Don't allow anybody to judge you with their own checklist. They have their own company, their own company. They have what they want. They know what they need. If you didn't fit into what they need, does not mean you are not the best. What it means is that the company is not the best for you, not that you are not the best for the company. You didn't fit in on their plan, does not mean you must find a place you fit in. But never fail to develop yourself, because when you start feeding the mind, you start to rust. It's all this mentality of not knowing your value and your worth is what protects most clients. Once you have the first rejection, you just have a conclusion that your worth is not in the market, that you don't have any value, and you rest, forgetting that time is ticking, which does not wait for anyone, rather you wait for time. Reason, think, and know your worth. Whenever you accept anything from any company or any organization, if you want to work for anybody, just have that mindset that for that moment, let your physical be lower than the company value they gave you. If your value and your company valued you at 200,000 or 300,000, make your value to be 50,000 or 70,000 or even 100 and something thousand, so that you have a positive lifespan of expenses. But when you place your value at above what the company places you, you will run in debt. Make your calculations. Calm down and calculate it with pen or calculator. You understand what I'm telling you. Know your value and know your worth, so that you will not run in debt. It's very, very important. Then I have a book. I will soon publish it. When you read the book, it's called Call for a Conscious Life. When you read it, you understand what life is all about. Because when something starts taking a longer time, you start losing your originality. We need to bring back that conscious life, conscious mindset of human. So we live to live a wonderful life. And we run away from some sicknesses because of how we think and how we listen. Because mindset, you need to build your mindset. When you build your mindset, nobody will look less on you. Nobody will use their own checklist to confirm that you are not doing well. Nobody will try that to you.